Thinking. Wow.
I got the angles right. It's pretty close though.
But we started yesterday by hooking up the vent fan. So there's that. I know this is kind of a crappy hose, but I mean, it's just for the vent fan. And if I have to replace it, I'll replace it one day. But so there's the wires that go to the fan. And I gotta hook that up and then mount that probably up against this wall. So there's everything ready to go. I just gotta hook up them wires. So another thing that we're doing is this is going to be for a piece of wood that will slide down into those, just to protect whoever might be sitting here, which would be Ava probably, or whoever might be visiting us or whatever, who might be sitting in this space while we're cooking, because we don't want to burn them, obviously, because they're pretty close to, you know, the stove. I don't know if I filmed this yet, but we got our pot holders in, so those are all in. Not that we're going to be using this stove out to sea because it's not gimbaled, but you know, if we're out at anchor and we get rocked, at least we know that the pot holders will hold our pots. For out at sea, I do have a sea swing. I also have some little pots and pans for the sea swing as well. So, collecting little pots and pans and things in here. Now I need to get a separator thing for our spoons and forks and stuff. That'll be another thing I want to get. Our water is working. This is all up here because the the bathroom's kind of apart right now. I got to figure out what to do with our toothbrushes, but we've been brushing our teeth in here, and what we've been doing is the water just goes into a bucket down in here. So, yep, water goes down into there, and then we just empty the bucket. And then I got my dishes out. I'm excited. I can't wait to cook aboard. We've got the propane line all hooked up, and I'm going to be ordering a fridge. Yeah, I got some twinkly lights up. Put some twinkly lights all along here. Fun. Today, I think I'm going to work on getting screens for the portholes. And Pete is going to put an on-off switch to the batteries so that we can plug in the battery charger and get these batteries charging. We're also working on the hardtop. Oh, I also want to measure this because I think I found... Oh, another thing I might have not shown you guys. Oh, I think I did. Is this light. Okay, anyways, so I think that's what I got going on so far. All the details take the longest, as we all know. You know, you get the details going, it takes twice as long as everything else. But the details are always going to be going on. We still have to obviously finish trim and do the floor. But little by little, we're going to get it done. We're not going to launch this year, we're going to launch next year. So, yeah, that we're not going to have going on. And the reason why we're launching next year, whether we have a mast or not, is because the trailer that this boat sits on is needing work, and it's been a few years already, and we're starting to feel that if we left it on this trailer and not did anything to the trailer for another year, we might not be able to get the boat down the road. All we have to do is just go down the road to the boatyard, and we're gonna have them actually launch us, only because we don't have the trailer ready to like launch it at all. And then next year, while the boat's in the water, we'll work on the trailer and get that ready to be a more usable trailer. It'll be worth more. It's not worth anything right now. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive next year, because right now we aren't paying an extra bill of having the boat in the water. Unfortunately, here in St. Augustine, when you anchor your boat, you have to pay to anchor. It's a very big shame. And it makes it very hard to make that one step of getting out there when you have to pay $300 rent to be out on the water. St. Augustine claims they own the ground on the bottom, so they claim that they own that and can charge within city limits. There's places you can go outside of city limits, but there is a lot of problems with getting to shore. It's one thing if you're just visiting and then leaving, but we're going to be living in town and going to work, and so it's just they made it hard to be able to do it. So we're going to launch and be on a mooring ball, probably in Salt Run, we're thinking, and then work on the trailer. So then we're going to have an extra bill, obviously, for this boat to be on the water. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive doing that. Try not to put too much money into this little boat, but it's hard to do, you know, when you're like, we're to that point where it's like, okay, it's time to buy a refrigerator, you know. I guess I could wait and not buy a fridge, which I'm considering. So I might not buy a fridge this year, but then next year it's just hard. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult money-wise. It always is. Anyway, so we still have some things to do. We got trim to finish. I'd love to get this wood burner going. We just have to make an oval piece for the bottom of the wood burner so that we can put the pipes together. Everything else is good to go. So right now we're actually using a little plug-in heater. Anyways, I better get downstairs. Pete's making some breakfast. So, talk to you guys later. Back here, we put in a access door to be able to get in and out of this area. The vent fan for the toilet is really noisy, so I'm going to order a new one. It's a little too loud, especially being right by our headboards.